Good morning, everybody, and it's Monday again. We're back to a fresh week, fresh start, and I wanted to pop in to create a couple of videos in the next few days about something that I've created, a system process that I've created called the China Incorporation Blueprint. What I have found over the last 17 years is that the incorporation process of companies in China has dramatically changed in such a way that it has improved. Now, those of you that are new to China might find the current system very old-fashioned and outdated, but compared to 17 years ago, it's a tremendous change. It's faster, it's more efficient, in a lot of places it's moved online. It still takes time, but the process itself has improved. And I created a blueprint about some of the key decisions that have to be made prior to actually establishing your entity. And for me, I've summarized them into 9 key considerations: the types of entity and business scope, the investment capital, the term of validity, who's going to be the shareholder, who's going to be in the corporate management, what's the company name going to be, where's the registered office address going to be located, with which bank are you going to be collaborating with, what is your value-added tax status going to be, and who's going to be your finance manager. So for me, there are 4 milestones when you're thinking about this blueprint. 1 is the structure, 2 are the people, 3 is location, and 4 is finance. So structure, people, location, and finance. And I wanted to start off today looking at the first milestone, which is the first decision-making process around the type of entity and the business scope you're creating. So in China, there's a variety of different types of entities that can be established, everything from representative offices to what you will find on the Google, which is WFIs, FICEs, joint ventures, all of this type of terminology. But ultimately, from a structural point of view, there's 2 types of entities. One is a representative office, which is a liaison office, and the second is a limited liability company, which has different forms of shareholdership, whether it's a foreign investor, whether it's a local Chinese, or whether there's more than one investor, right? Whether there's a Chinese party, a foreign party, which would lead it into a joint venture. But ultimately, it's a liaison office and a limited liability company. So let's stem away from these Google searches of looking at WFIs, FICEs, not really understanding. WFIs and FICE just basically mean that the shareholder is a foreign investor and that the business scope is going to be specific to either service or trade. Simple as that. But ultimately, the entity, the structure is a limited liability company. We then have to look at the business scope, which is key in China. You can't just create something out of thin air and expect that you can do it. You also can't create a 1-word activity and expect that you can do 100 different activities. You have to be specific in China. In fact, when you do the online application to set up your company, there is a pull-down menu of over 1,000 activities listed where you actually have to pick and choose what is going to be in your business scope. So what I would like to give as a tip is the following. Make a decision. Are you looking to generate revenue in China? Yes or no? And I want you to look at it as a perspective of now, in 5 years, in 10 years. So 1 is revenue generation. The second is take a piece of paper. Take a plain piece of paper, take a pen, and write down what you actually want to do in China. What activities do you want to perform in China? And go into detail in terms of import, export, domestic sale, retail, e-commerce. Maybe you want to provide certain services, after-sale services. Maybe you want to go into architecture or open up a restaurant, open up a deli, or go into human resource activities. Whatever it might be, pinpoint the activities, pinpoint then separately the products and the services. And again, I would just recommend looking at it now, looking at it in 5 years, and looking at it again in 10 years, in order for you to be able to analyze what your vision of the company is going to be. Because what we want to do is create a flexible structure that allows you to grow and get ahead of that growth opportunity in China. So that's basically decision number 1. What type of entity do you need? i.e., are you going to generate revenue? Yes or no? And what activities are you going to be performing in the market? What products and services are you going to be selling or exporting in the market? And let's look at it in 3 different phases: now, 5 years, 10 years. I hope that's helped. And if you have any questions in relation to the types of entities, structures, and business scope, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll provide you with my contact details above. Have a great start to the week. Take care and goodbye.